Many are now protesting leadership in the Philippines after the death of a 17-year-old boy. Now, this death centered around an incident involving cops. The police allege that Kian Delos Santos was armed and that he opened fire against the cops, which led them to return fire, and then they shot and killed him. However, there was witness testimony and also surveillance footage that indicated that that was not, in fact, what happened. And so this is all part of Duterte's support of extrajudicial killings involving those who are either in possession of or trafficking drugs. And he's gotten a lot of support for having that policy, but a lot of people, many of which never got a day in court, have died as a result of that. In fact, there have been 12,500 casualties as a result of these extrajudicial killings. And unfortunately, it took the death of an innocent 17-year-old for people to wake up and realize this is probably not a good idea. Police initially claimed that he had fired first, but their story was contradicted by witnesses and CCTV footage that showed the teenager being dragged down alleyways into a dead-end corner where he was asked to run with a gun and shot when he did.
Let's pause there because I want to give some more context. Of the 12,500 people killed, 3,500 have been killed in police shootouts where the officers claimed self-defense. But now when you see on video that they put a gun in the kid's hands and make him run away and then shoot him in the back, well, you get a sense of maybe those weren't shootouts. Maybe this is something that they do, not maybe, almost certainly what they do on a regular basis to murder people. Now, was the kid a drug dealer? No, it turns out the kid actually wanted to be a cop. And the last thing that anybody heard from him when he was screaming, "Please, can I go home? I have school tomorrow." So this is what happens when you have no rule of law.
This is what happens when you elect crazy people, right? This is what happens when you elect crazy people. There's a reason why a justice system is supposed to exist, right? So people can have their day in court and they can be found guilty or innocent, and then you can carry out the appropriate actions following that day in court. But they decided against that. They decided to support a crazy person like Duterte who thinks that someone who might be addicted to drugs is worthy of murdering, okay?
And not only that.
And by the way, we live in a country that elects crazy people as well. And Donald Trump has been very supportive of Duterte and his tough on crime policies. But in reality, these tough on crime policies end up killing completely innocent people and people who just need help with rehabilitation.
Yeah, so there are 3 layers at a minimum in the problems that this approach has. One is, okay, killing drug dealers, wait, nobody passed those laws. Dealing drugs is not an offense that you should be executed for. If it was, we would agree as a society that we should. We didn't pass that law in America, they didn't pass that law in the Philippines, but he's executed him anyway. Second layer is much more troubling. Oh, if you're taking drugs, he's executing you. For Christ's sake. I mean, that's a healthcare issue. It's like going around shooting everybody who's having a beer. I don't know, you seem like you were addicted to alcohol. Alcohol is a big problem in America, or in the Philippines in this case, shoot him in the head. That's insanity. That's just, I mean, it's the other stuff was probably murder, but we don't know if the drug dealers had weapons or not. The drug users are almost definitely murder. Now we get to the third layer, which is once you start killing people, you stop checking whether they're the guys you were going after in the first place. You've got a blank check from a dictator saying, go take care of the problem and I'm not gonna hold you accountable. When you don't hold cops accountable, this is what happens.
Yeah. So look, there is corruption in the Philippines just like there's corruption in pretty much every other country. And there are multiple political parties. And those who support Duterte, just like those who support Trump, like to make excuses for him because they don't want to accept the reality of supporting a crazy person who's actually destructive for their society. And so the excuse that they're coming up with for Duterte is, oh, the political opponents are setting this up. There's some sort of weird conspiracy theory to set this up so Duterte looks bad. No, Duterte is terrible, okay? He is the person who gave a green light to vigilante injustice really, and he has given a green light to people doing these extrajudicial killings. Okay, so there are no excuses for Duterte. Duterte has been on the record over and over again saying that he applauds and supports this. And now that he's been caught supporting something that has been destructive, he's trying to walk it back a little bit. He's saying, oh no, this is terrible. And he is saying that these cops need to be put in custody. No, you need to be put in custody. There's no reason why someone like him should be a leader of a country.
So once you open up the can of worms of lawlessness, vigilante justice, and the president saying you don't have to follow the law, you can just kill people, it leads down a very, very dark alley, and it does every single time. And it did in this case, unfortunately, literally. They found the kid, his body was bullet riddled, it was in a fetal position, and he was semi-naked. So, and then they pretended that he was a dangerous guy. And so this is the thing that has outraged the Philippines, where it's gone too far. But to Anna's point, you should have known it was going to go there. This is when you allow someone to break the law and have no consequences, in this case Duterte, and then the cops that he unleashed. Well, this is a guaranteed result. So don't, if you supported Duterte before, don't feign outrage now. This is what you authorized. But now that you realize what he's actually doing, throw him the hell out of office. And may you be the first to throw a right-wing dictator out or someone with dictatorial tendencies, and may others follow. Watch the Young Turks commercial-free, download it or stream it, watch it any way you like at tytnetwork.com/join.